Welcome to Pour the Wine, It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Gary.
And it's time to pour the wine. I know we're pouring a Cab Sav, and this one is...
Claude de Bois.
Claude de Bois. Are we sure that's how it's pronounced?
I think it is.
I don't know. I think...
I really do. I really think it is. That's how you pronounce it. But it's from California.
It is. Oh, it's from California?
Yeah.
Cali?
I'm going back to Cali.
Oh, you're spilling it.
Oh, I spilt it.
You just spilled it. Oh, that's all right.
It's okay.
That's wasting wine, in my opinion.
Oh, it is. You're right. A drop. I wasted a drop, people.
Can you believe we only have 2 more episodes? We're reviewing the Chicken Sisters today, and
it's crazy.
After this one, we only have 2 more episodes before season 1 wraps.
And it's getting good.
It's getting good. It's getting good. I think we should just dive right in. What do you think?
Well, we would love it if you would click that follow button on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any of our episodes. If you listen on Apple or Spotify, you can also leave us a review, and I hope it's a positive review.
Do you?
You can also... Yes, I do.
Yes, we do.
Yes. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and Threads.
Yes, head on over to the socials and let us know what you think so far about the Chicken Sisters.
Yes.
We'd love to know what your thoughts are so far.
Yes. And speaking of thoughts.
Oh, boy. What do we got? You got some thoughts?
Today, I don't know, we're reviewing the 6th episode of season 1 of the Chicken Sisters.
That's your thought? Okay.
I choose to be happy, y'all, which aired on Sunday, May 4th, 2025. If you missed it, you can catch it and all episodes on Hallmark Plus. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds great.
So tell me, darling.
Darling. Oh, boy. Oh, it's going to be a night.
Right. Who are we adding to the list of actors, actresses, and Chicken Sisters?
Well, I discovered there were some that we haven't mentioned. They've been in previous episodes, and they showed up again for this episode, for episode 6. So I probably should mention them.
Yeah,
even the last episode, I said, we're all caught up. Yeah, Turns out that was a lie. Not all caught up.
It's a good thing we caught it, right?
All right. Here we go. Leah Rose Hannes plays young Nancy. She has 2 acting credits, including the Chicken Sisters. She was also in a movie called Saving Christmas in 2024. Good for her. Anika Fornato plays young Gus. She has 3 acting credits also, in addition to the Chicken Sisters. I don't know why I said also, because Leah only had 2, but it's fine.
It's okay.
She was in 2 shorts, Burning the Candle at Both Ends and Consumer. She actually directed and wrote Burning the Candle as well. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Someone who's acting, writing, and directing.
That's crazy, right?
Liam Boland plays young Frank Sr. For Hallmark, he was in Sweeter Than Chocolate in 2023.
Okay.
He's been in a few shorts in 2021 and the movie Christmas on the Vine in 2020. So he's been in a total of 5. He's had a total of 5 acting gigs.
That's awesome.
You got to start somewhere.
Hey.
Drew Henderson plays Sheriff Lawrence, and he's been in a few episodes for sure. He's been in several Hallmark productions, including An Easter Bloom in 2024, Wedding Season, The Wedding Cottage, and Candid About Love in 2023.
Yeah.
Ooh, he was busy. 2023. His first appearance in a Hallmark film was in A Feeling of Home in 2019. A few of his other works include the TV movie Devil on Campus in 2024 and 1 episode of The Flash in 2023.
I don't know if I'd like the devil on my campus. Just saying.
I don't know. Well,
saying.
Michael P. Northey plays Big Tim. His Hallmark projects include Garage Sale Mystery, The Masked Murder in 2018, Ms. Matched in 2016, and he was in 1 episode of Signed, Sealed, Delivered in 2013. But I don't know who he was. I should have looked that up because we just watched that. We're starting to watch Signed, Sealed, Delivered movies. We're now a postable.
We are a postable,
y'all. We love the
series.
series, the pilot movie, the series, and To the Moon and Back, which we just watched and really enjoyed. And we're going to go back and watch
the movies.
All the other movies.
That's right.
We have a chore in front of us.
And
so
and if you haven't partaken in the watching of SSD,
partaken?
Partaken.
That's a big word for tonight.
Make sure you bring a box of tissues because there's some episodes that are tear jerkers, boy.
Right in the heart. Oh, yeah. In the emotions. Yeah, but it's good.
It is good.
Michael Northey has also, as far as series, he's been in Under the Bridge, 1 episode in 2024. Okay. Alaska Daily, 1 episode in 2022. Charmed, he was in 5 episodes in 2022. Shut Eye.
Ooh, Shut Eye.
1 episode Shut Eye keeps popping up. Huh. That was in 2016. And 5 episodes of Once Upon a Time. He played Friar Tuck.
Ooh, Friar Tuck.
From 2014 to 2016. And he's been in some movies also. Kindergarten Cop 2 in 2016. Okay. 2 for the Money in 2005. And The Santa Claus 2 in 2005.
Santa Claus, I know him.
Bree Widow plays Deirdre. For Hallmark, she was in Leah's Perfect Gift in 2024.
Oh, that was good.
She's been in Tracker, 1 episode of Tracker in 2024, 1 episode of Upload in 2023. She was in 1 episode each of DC Legends of Tomorrow and Lucifer in 2018 and 2016, respectively.
Okay.
Her movies included Love on Your Doorstep, and that was actually with Stephanie Bennett, who was Ella in 2 of the recent Hearts Around the Table movies.
Oh.
So they worked together. And a movie called The Bright Side in 2023.
Never heard of that one, but okay.
Now I think we're caught up on actors and actresses. And if you want to hear who all is in the Chicken Sisters, listen to episodes 1 through 3. We list several at the beginning of the main players, and then we're trying to add as we go.
Yes,
these are the ones
the little chickadees that are stragglers here and there,
which we should have because they've been in some episodes.
All right, so you ready for some Hallmark trivia?
Oh gosh, yes. What else am I not gonna know? Yes, lay it on me. I'm gonna do some Hallmark research and surprise you one of these days.
Yes, do so. This one though, it's in your wheelhouse. It's about Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, Christmas.
Okay, now you have my attention.
So, Hallmark produces over blank new Christmas movies each year across its 2 main channels, Hallmark Channel and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. How many does it produce?
It says over.
Over.
Right. Over 80?
No, too high.
Oh, over 50.
Still too high.
Over 20?
No, higher.
Like higher, lower. What was that? That was a card. Was it Card Shark or something? Yes. You flip the card over, higher, lower. I don't know.
That was funny. It was really funny. No, it's 40.
It's 40.
Over 40.
Ooh,
yes.
That's pretty good.
I mean, considering they average about 15 to 20 days of filming.
Yeah.
Per movie, that's
let's bring it on. I'm ready for Christmas 2025. Christmas in July is coming up. Mm-hmm. And then we have actually countdown to Christmas. And let's go.
Can't wait. So it's time to drop the synopsis for season 1, episode 6.
Oh boy, that was pretty good. Are we going to jingle all the
I'm in a good mood today for some reason.
And you haven't even had a sip of wine yet. Good grief. Okay.
Oh, I did. You just didn't see me do it.
Okay. Season 1, episode 6, I Choose to Be Happy, y'all. Amanda tries her best to be happy despite current events, but she's not convincing herself. Meanwhile, the kitchen clash competition comes to a head.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Woo-hoo. Man, let me tell you.
Oh, wait. Before you say anything.
Okay. Yes.
Just know we'll probably give away some spoilers.
Oh, that's right.
So if you have not watched episode 6 yet, go watch it.
And then come back and listen.
We don't want to give any, we don't want to spoil things, but we do talk about a lot in the episode.
Well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not talk about the spoilers while you're reviewing these
It's
things.
A little difficult. Yeah. We try. Well, we do.
But
we talk about the whole
look episode. At it this way. See if you're on the same wavelength that we are in pointing things out or noticing things throughout the episodes.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Now you may proceed with your thought. I wanted to give that spoiler alert.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I really enjoyed watching some of the characters go through their personal growth in this episode.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really did.
Yes.
There was a lot of soul searching,
There was a lot of soul searching.
Self-discoveries.
Deep thoughts.
Then you mix it with moments of family betrayal.
Oh, look at you. Family betrayal.
Rising health concerns. And then a little sprinkle, a little dash of kitchen chaos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it made this episode pretty good too.
Wasn't it?
I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I agree. So we started off this episode. Amanda's returned home to Frank Jr.
Yep.
Right at the end of last episode, and she's back into the routine of everything. Frank Jr. and Amanda's listening to a podcast.
Yes.
Right? That's kind of
uplifting.
Well, it's trying to be like, make yourself be happy.
Yes.
Put your shoulders back. Look in the mirror. You know, Frank Jr. is listening to a different type of podcast having to do with Mr. Chicken, right?
Macho
Sabrina
man.
and Lindsay bond. May's trying to make amends, but you know, encountering like that brick wall with her family, and Nancy and Gus learn more about one another, and we finally get the competition.
Finally, the side competition.
Yes, the kitchen clash finally begins.
Well, you know, Frank Jr. Yeah.
All right, are we gonna start with him? Sure.
He didn't just cross the line.
Oh,
He
man.
sprinted past the line.
Yeah, he's
And I'm done giving him
the benefit of
the
the doubt.
benefit of the doubt. Okay, he's just a jerk.
Well, you have to wonder, what redeeming qualities did he have that Amanda fell in love with? Was it just, you know, comfort?
Yeah.
And you know, she settled?
A way of getting out of her mom's house.
Well, I mean, she said that as much last episode.
Right.
So it was a way, but, you know, she just settled for a real ass.
I know.
You know,
I know.
He doesn't redeem himself at all. And in fact, he makes it worse in this episode.
And the way he treats his mom.
Yes. Yeah, the things he says to her. And it just, yes, I did not care for him. So he's a good actor because he's really making me not like him.
Yes. Me and Frank Jr. are on the outs.
Are on the outs right now.
Right.
Right. Well, speaking of his mom, you know, Nancy, I thought it was interesting when she kept trying to talk to him about, you know, well, why don't you want to have more kids? Kids make a family. And it's just a weird, I mean, yes, kids are lovely, you know, and they're great.
Right.
But not everybody has children, and not everybody has a gaggle of children.
Correct.
You might have one, you might have two, you might have 10. I mean, it's whatever your choice is, but it doesn't, you know, as most people know,
right,
make your relationship better.
Right.
You know,
it doesn't
of course, when you
define you.
have a child and it's a wanted child, it makes your life richer in a lot of ways. But it's hard. And so I guess we're going to find out why Frank Jr. really didn't want more children.
But then he fires
point.
back at Nancy saying, "Why did you only have one child?"
Well, he doesn't know that she actually lost one. Yeah. So it was kind of a moment, and she's never spoken about it.
No,
obviously. To him.
We're probably going to find out about that.
Yeah, we are probably going to find out.
Last two
that.
episodes,
right? And I just like when she says too, "I may have taken a vacation." What does she say? "I may have taken a vacation outside of my own values."
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought that line was really funny when she was
love
talking
her
about when
lines,
she
man.
went to Gus's house with the hydrangeas and all that jazz last episode. So
yeah, that was a fun time with her.
And then there's another line I have to point out about Nancy that she said when her and Gus are in their, I guess, argument, or they're debating or talking or whatever. And Gus kind of laughs at what Nancy says. And she says, "Is my pain a Paula Poundstone to you?" And I wonder how many people get that. You know, do you know who Paula Poundstone is?
No, I do not.
She was a comedian that was really popular in like the 80s.
No, I
want to say 80s, 90s, maybe late 70s, but 80s. Yeah, she was really, you know, all the comedy specials and everything she was on. So I was like, I wonder how many people will actually pick up on that. I thought that was really funny.
I'm not one of those people.
I did. You are not. Well, I did. I picked up on it.
Not picking up on that. Yes, sir.
I haven't thought about her. I mean, yes. So if you know anything about 80s comedy and all that jazz, you probably remember Paula Poundstone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad you picked that up. You always pick up things like that.
Yeah. So
was.
But Nancy,
Yeah. We'll talk about her some more as we go on. Let's go to May. Let's go to May.
I'm really liking her.
I know. Me too.
I'm really liking her a lot.
She's starting to realize, why is it that everybody hates me, especially with Kenneth. I felt that whole scene.
Yes.
When she first went to talk to him and he was up on the ladder, cleaning and putting things away, she didn't realize, that he was hurt from her because she was always kind of, joking his upcomings or, the people around him, his upbringing.
Him staying there.
And I think he gave it to her. He was like, because she was just like, I don't understand why you're mad at me,
Well, I think the tipping point for him was, excuse me, when Patrick says that he had a moment with her and they kind of bonded.
Yes.
And Kenneth, it seems like, feels like she's not making the effort with him. Like all these other people are talking to her and having these moments and, they're coming around, but there were so many moments in his life that she missed. And he's harboring that a little bit,
right.
And that's part of what I was going to say too. I'm kind of glad you brought that up. Not so much about Kenneth, but about May and that, it's kind of like, it reminds me of an addict.
Mm-hmm.
Once they're ready and they get clean and they get sober and they're ready, to make amends. And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
With people that you've hurt over time. Just because you're ready doesn't mean everybody else is.
Right. And don't be mad at them.
And May has kind of encountered that, like, hey, we're good. I'm cool. Yeah. Like, it's like no time has passed. But, and so Kenneth is like, yeah, but you left.
Yeah.
And when you come home, you're making fun of my life here.
I know.
You're making fun of the people here. You're joking about it. And I don't appreciate that. And I think, May is sort of caught in that. She's really coming around to realizing how she was. She realizes her upbringing. She's trying to make amends and people aren't having it yet.
Yeah.
And it's sad in some ways, but it's also understandable.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like this yin and yang for her. And I feel badly for her and I really like her, but people don't change on a dime.
Yeah, but it was good to see her realizing, that she growing up didn't like her past.
Yeah.
And it kind of destroyed her relationships.
Right.
With Amanda, with her mom, with Kenneth.
With Jay.
And she starts to realize it. And then when she comes in with the gifts for Kenneth, the 3 gifts, I thought that was...
Yeah, that was a start.
Yeah,
it was a good start, right?
She brought the flowers because his mom had passed away. She brought the blender because... of his party, bachelor party. And then she brought the oil or the lotion.
Right. The lotion, right. The special lotion. Yeah.
And then she was like, can you be honest and just tell me, what's wrong with me? And he goes, do you want to have lunch?
like this is a conversation,
take a long time. Right. So I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah. I mean, well, it was more than just that scene.
Well, it was 2 scenes.
The whole, the episode.
Between them.
Yeah. Between her and Kenneth. Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. The issue with her fiance, I just have to say, I think is because she lied about where she worked.
Right.
Did she lie about where she lived and grew up?
Yes.
Where did she say she? Oh, okay. Okay. So she did lie about where, because I was thinking, I guess I just overlooked that because I was thinking, I mean, she lied about where she worked. I get it. She kind of said she was on Broadway and she wasn't. She was, but she was working in a restaurant.
Right.
Donkeys with a Z, you know? And so I just was kind of like, why is that a big deal? But I guess I get.
Right.
She lied about where she grew up. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because she felt like if she lied, then he would love her. But then when he fell in love with her, she didn't know which, May he fell in love with.
Right. Right.
And that weighed on her.
And that's what Kenneth said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Which May are you?
It's like you shut people out from knowing May in the past, but you also keep people out from knowing the new May. And I thought that was that was
a
pretty good way to explain it to her.
Pretty profound, right?
Yes, profound, people. So let's move on to Amanda and May.
Amanda and May.
Yeah, I thought that scene outside with the car was pretty funny.
So Amanda comes out and approaches May.
Yes,
and May has no idea what's going on.
Right.
And she's like, "What fresh hell is this?" That's what May says. Yeah.
What fresh hell is this? That was so funny, and it's interesting because they started yelling at each other, telling the other that they were like mom.
Oh, yeah, that was a funny scene.
And it was some deep cups. And what was funny is the one when Amanda says, you have wrinkles on your forehead, and May lost.
That's the one that got to May.
Yeah, it's like, you crossed the line.
Yeah, that part was so funny because that was the one that set her off. Everything else she kind of just brushed off. And those were the deeper ones, but it was when Amanda says the like your forehead or whatever about the wrinkles. And she was like, "You've gone too far." Yeah, that was a pretty funny scene.
And then Sergio
coming out.
Yeah. And telling them both to calm it down because, the cameras might be rolling and
right.
How would it look with you guys fighting and them filming it, So
right.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Well, and the anger there too is about Amanda finds out that her daughter wants to go to New York City and she had no idea.
Yeah.
And she was going to go to New York City and stay with May, and May had offered up her place. And I did kind of like when May was like, "Oh, would you rather me have her stay in a place with bedbugs?" Sure. Like, no problem. She could be in New York by herself, New York City. Park. Yeah, no problem. So I thought that was,
yeah. I mean, we get angry at the silliest things, don't we?
Well, sometimes. Yeah. But they're not silly at the time.
Well,
you need perspective and time sometimes to get away from things and look back.
So then let's go into that scene with Amanda and Frankie.
So that's a good scene that we can go into then, because we're talking about Amanda and she was upset about Frankie. Not that Frankie wanted to go, but that Frankie didn't tell her she wanted to go. And she was mostly hurt by that part of it. Yeah. And so they're driving home, Frankie and Amanda, and they're discussing the New York City scene. And I thought it was a pretty profound scene between the two of them.
Right.
Because they have misconceptions about one another.
Yes. Which was kind of funny because, Amanda, when they were younger, May left, went to New York, made a life of her.
Right.
Or May did.
And
then Amanda stayed, for one reason or another. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she didn't, want to put herself out there like May did. And now that her daughter wants to do the same thing as her aunt, I don't know if it hurt her feelings or she was scared, maybe both. She was scared for her daughter being in a big city by herself.
Well, I think she was, and she said she's afraid to let her go out on her own because she's like, what happens if you get hurt? What happens if you don't make it? What happens if, and so you can really see where Amanda stays because she's comfortable. Right. She doesn't want to take chances, big chances, because what if you get hurt? She just doesn't have that personality like May, where May's out there. May's like, I'm gone. Bye. I'll see you later. I'll make it or break it. I'll work at Donkeys. I'll do what I need to do. Whereas Amanda's like, she'd rather play it safe.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people are like that. And I think that and she said she couldn't protect her from getting hurt. And that's what she wanted to do. And that probably has to do with her own relationship with her mother, with Gus, and, and all that jazz because.
And how about the line when she says, when Amanda tells Frankie, haven't you heard of unconditional love?
Yeah.
And then Frankie goes, well, May is your sister and Gus is your mom. Where's the unconditional love there?
Well, she says it doesn't exactly run in our family, unconditional love. And she's right. Yeah. She's right. And she, Frankie feels like that's where, Amanda's afraid to let her go. And Frankie feels like if she goes, the reason why she didn't talk to her is because her mom would be mad at her, like she was mad at May for leaving.
Exactly.
And kids think like that. They can't understand that you're their kid, and of course your parents going to love you, and they may be upset with you, but they're going to love you no matter what. So yeah, that was a really, really powerful scene.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Well, speaking speaking of kids and
Kids.
moms, let's go to Sabrina and Lindsay.
Sabrina and Lindsay. Oh yeah, they had some moments.
Yeah, they did this time around.
So this episode, you really see Sabrina kind of excited when Lindsay wants to go to work with her. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of cool because parents, we're not cool to our kids a lot. So I think Sabrina felt like, oh, yay, she wants to go to work
bring
with
the child to work day.
And Lindsay goes to work with her mom and she gives great feedback to her mom.
Yeah.
And her mom really appreciates it. And she's really excited. And then they have the kitchen clash.
The kitchen clash.
And there ends up being
drama.
A fight.
Yes.
There ends up being a fight. And her mother, instead of having the camera stop, she wants the cameras rolling. And Lindsay
was like, here we go again.
Right.
We're out. Bye.
Well, Lindsay then, kind of realizes what she does. And
Right.
it's kind of like salacious. And
she doesn't
wants
like
the
it.
fight. And she doesn't really like it. And she leaves.
That was terrible.
Right. But it also pays her bills.
Well, that's true.
It's like
gets her nice fancy shoes.
Kind of reminded me of Jerry Springer a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of got
kitchen
there.
clash,
the fight
kind of got there a little bit.
But did you notice when Frank Jr. hit Sergio, whose name Amanda called out? It was Sergio's name.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's a little fire burn there. I think little fire. I did not notice that.
And what's funny is after all of that chaos that went on, when it started to settle down, then you get Nancy, Gus, and Amanda together.
Yeah. Well, can we go back to the kitchen clash itself with Frank Jr.?
Yeah.
That's kind of where he gets mad that he doesn't win.
Oh, yeah.
And he's for that particular part of the competition, and he gets really upset, and then he blames his mom. I mean, he's just such a spoiled brat.
He is.
He really is. And you wonder if he's like that, you wonder about his dad.
Yeah. And all
really,
Sergio was like, is don't treat your mom like that. And then that set Frank off. And that's where you get that whole fight scene. But he's a little crybaby.
So you were saying, and then we get to the scene where it's Gus, Nancy,
and Amanda.
And
that's where you find out what happened between Nancy, Gus, and Frank Sr.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about
find
that?
out the truth.
The spoiler.
The spoiler. It's a spoiler. Well, they imply up to that point, Nancy thinks that her husband had a tryst with Gus right before they got married.
Because he told her that.
Because that's true. That's what he told her. Yeah. So and that's so interesting to me because Gus actually says he wanted my business.
Yeah.
He wanted to take everything away from me. He wanted my house, or
he wanted to put us out on the street.
He wanted to put us out on the street. And Nancy, but it's interesting to me that Frank Sr. would instead say he was having an affair.
Right.
Instead of, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like he thought that was the better out than just saying, I really want everything. I want Mimi's. I want to take over the town or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But I just found that fascinating. Like he thought the better route was, well, I had an affair with her before we were married, and Well,
I think it was more so that Nancy would hate Gus.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because if he would have told her what he was doing, I would have felt sorry. I would have been like, no, you're not going to do that.
You know what? That's a really good point. Look at you. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Woo, woo.
Yeah, it would make her really hate Gus, and that's caused all that tension for 30 years or whatever.
And it was funny because Amanda threw her 2 cents in there too. And it's like, I heard you and Frank Sr. arguing, and he left when he left the house.
Yes.
And Gus she's like, well, why would you do that? Or why would you say that? It's men.
He's a man. Because he said, why would he say he had an affair?
And then she walks in between them to go out. And then she has that little stumble.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when Amanda goes, is something wrong? What's up? And Gus was like, mind your business.
Well, that's that leads us into Gus then. So you find out, and we have been mispronouncing a name.
Yeah. Gen.
It's Gen. We've been saying Jen.
Yes, we've been saying Jen. Sorry about that, Gen.
So it's Gen.
Yes.
So you do find out that Gus is not sleeping with him and breaking up that marriage, which I, didn't think she was, but I didn't know honestly what the explanation was going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm not glad, but I'm thinking like rheumatoid arthritis or something. That's what my guess is. Yeah.
Stress. And
so he's giving her massages and she doesn't want to go to his place in town because then everybody will know her business. And she's had enough of that for her life.
But let's go into a freezer. That's not
right, and make it look. But Sergio knows.
Yeah,
Sergio knows, and I liked how they did talk about how Gus let those men in, Patrick and Kenneth and Sergio, and she does have this soft spot, but she just won't show it enough. No. She just won't
she shows it to them. She just doesn't show it to her
daughters. Right,
and that's the sad thing.
Yeah, and and then Amanda goes to Gus's house to check on her, and Gus won't answer the door, and you can see she's struggling with, she wants to, but she can't get out of her own way. Yep. She won't do it. She won't open the door because of the hoarding and all of that, and there not being any room. So
yeah. And then, of course, Amanda, after she leaves her mom's house, goes to the restaurant, and who's there waiting? Sergio. Well, he's not really waiting for her. He's just cleaning up. And she comes in and says,
he's not waiting for him.
Where's my mom? And he's like, no, she's at home in bed, sleeping. And then Amanda goes into, her projection of Sergio and how he's kissed so many women.
Yes,
and everything.
yes.
And, there's that, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
And then what does Sergio do? Sergio, being the nice man that he is, he says, come, let's go on a ride. I want to show you something. Because she thinks he's just there, Marinak's just a stepping stone for him.
He's going to move on.
He's going to move on to bigger and better things.
Right.
But he actually takes her on a ride to a field that has a soul sign in it, and it's where he's going to build his house because he loves Marinak and he wants to stay.
He wants to put down roots and stay, and that's going to be good or bad for Amanda, maybe both.
Yes.
I don't know. That's going to cause That's going to cause a lot. And I like when he says to her that he's never been dumped by voicemail.
Oh, that was so funny.
Because she had called him in the last episode. Was it last one or 2 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Where she calls him and says, I can't see you anymore. And, last night was a mistake and, whatever. And then he gives the thumbs up. So he's like, I've never been dumped by a voicemail. And it reminded me of Sex and the City, the episode where she gets dumped by a Post-it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Post-it dump? Yeah, that was what my mind immediately went to.
Yeah,
so
that was
anyway,
funny.
that's just a little Sex and the City shout out.
And then one thing leads to another, and Sergio leans in to give her a kiss. But, wait a minute. He can't because he still has a seatbelt.
Right. The seatbelt catches him up. So.
That was funny. That was a funny scene.
Well, we're going to see what ends up happening. I mean, I don't know, the whole affair of it all. I don't know. We'll see kind of where it goes. And you can kind of see, but you can see where people are unhappy, and then you start to make decisions.
Right.
That aren't necessarily the best for you, but you are unhappy, and know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we'll see.
And then we come to the final scene where, there's a car pulling up to a field, to a phone booth.
Right. Well, and Frank Jr. is Frank Jr.
And he's listening to the podcast, and he gets out, and
it's like a Macho Man podcast or something. It's really weird.
Like, pump my chest.
You're the king of your castle, and
take crap from no one,
Mr. Chicken.
Yeah. And you're not sure what he's going to do, right? So,
well, you think he's going to see Amanda and Sergio.
That's what I thought.
What you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But what does he do? He gets into the phone booth, right?
Who has a phone booth anymore? Oh,
in the
Marinak.
middle of a field.
It is Marinak,
right?
So it's
a
southern town. It's
a town that doesn't even have stop signs, but they got a phone booth in the middle of a field. Go figure that.
Yeah, I thought that was, and he had quarters. Yeah. Who has quarters?
Exactly.
But of course he had a plan. But
and who does he call?
Well, he could get tips. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm sorry.
No,
totally.
He calls the health inspector on Gus.
Yep.
He's dead to me.
He's dead to you. He's dead to you. Frank Jr., you are dead to us.
Yeah.
You turned Gus in.
And you know the best part of all this is the narrator. She did a really good job. Yeah, she's so good. And every one of these scenes, she's just
so good.
Teed it up, and then the scene happened, and it was great.
Yeah, I love her too. Is Gus getting her biscuit buttered? That's what she said. That's what the narrator says. And then what does she say? Like, I'm just gonna let you know. Like, she's like, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. You've waited long enough or whatever. It's so good. It's so good.
It was really good.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
that's a lot for episode 6.
That was a fun episode.
Yep. So we have 2 more episodes. It's going to be very interesting to see
how it all
where things go.
I'm ready for the cook-off. I want to know whose chicken's better.
I know. And I'm curious, is Sabrina going to stay for a while?
Right.
Is she going to come back? Will she be in season 2? I don't know.
Will she fall in love with the handyman?
Will she fall in love with Grooster? Right. We didn't see him at all this season.
Gruster, whatever his name.
We didn't see him at all this season.
No.
Or not this season,
this
episode.
We didn't see Shauna either.
Or the pastor.
Or the pastor,
yeah.
So, I think that's where Nancy's going.
Shauna needs to come. We need more of Shauna.
I know. I don't know why they don't put her in there.
I don't know.
She's funny.
She's really funny. Maybe she'll get more airtime in season 2.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
With all of her little businesses and side deals.
Out of 5 corks, what would you give this one?
I would give this one, I thought it was really good. I'd probably give it a 4.5.
Nah, I'm going to give it a 5.
You're going to go for a 5.
Yeah, because Frank made me hate him in this episode.
I know, last episode was so good,
he was good.
Coming off of that.
It was good. Frank Jr.
But
was good.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
All right. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen so you don't miss one. Also, follow us on social media if you really, really like the show and are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We would really appreciate your positive review.
No, we'd really, really appreciate your positive review.
Yes. Thank you for adding another really in there.
Really.
And if you didn't really, really like the show, we still appreciate your positive review.
We would really, really appreciate your positive review. I'm just repeating. No, we would. We'd really like to hear your feedback.
We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, and let us know what you think of the episodes so far of Chicken Sisters. Maybe you've watched it all the way through on Hallmark Plus. So you know how it's going to end, but we don't yet.
Yeah, we haven't, and we haven't read the book, so we don't know.
Nope, not yet. Join us next Tuesday when we review episode number 7, It's Just Junk, Y'all, which will air on Sunday, May 11th, 2025 on the Hallmark Channel. Be sure to also tune in on Wednesdays for our Hallmark movie reviews. Until then, fill up your glasses and push play. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.